Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to Reboot Your Thoughts podcast. More apologies. I'm so sorry, I obviously went missing for a couple of weeks. If anybody's seen my socials today, you'll see that I was going to explain that today. So, if you followed from or listened from the beginning, you may not know, my mum had a few strokes last year. She was in hospital for quite a few months, to the point where I actually put back the date of starting the podcasts, starting recording, starting uploading them and everything, because she was in hospital. And this year she's decided that to do it all again, to an extent, not as bad as last year, in some ways, in other ways worse, but I had to take a few weeks off because my mum was back in hospital. We did get some news about her health last week, which we're dealing with at the minute as a family. And yes, that's all that I can say just now, just to kind of protect her privacy and to protect others. And obviously to protect ourselves as well, because we don't want to kind of keep going over this and over it, and without being rude to any listeners, but to people that don't actually know her. Do you know what I mean? So there may be times in the next couple of months where the podcast might be later out than what they should be, but I will try and keep to schedule as much as possible. I did say on the socials today that I'm going to try and have a couple in the bag just for when I don't have time to record, and I can just use one of them, if that makes sense. So yes, that's where we're at just now. We're just dealing with a lot. And my brother was doing the day visits to the hospital. I was doing the evening visits to the hospital. During the day I was working, doing everything I needed to do for my kids. So yes. Oh, and I'm still looking for a new house. Just to top it off, We did think that after a year of searching that we would have been in a house by now. But why would we? I mean, why would things go simple? I mean, it has literally been a year since we started looking, but there'll be a day when a house will come and we will move into it. When that day will be, I do not know. Listen, you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh at things in life sometimes, and you can't take everything too seriously. And that's just the way I live my life. I try and, especially because, again, for anybody that's listened from the beginning may know, I have already gone through over 20 years worth of a mental health journey, and I need to do anything to protect my mental health. So if it means laughing about things other people may not laugh at, that's okay. I am doing that to protect me, and it doesn't mean that I don't empathise with situations. It doesn't mean that I don't care about people or anything like that. It just means that I also need to protect myself. And we all need to protect ourselves. Yes, we're protecting others, but we also need to protect ourselves. Primarily, you need to protect yourself. Because if you're not mentally stable or physically, emotionally stable, you can't be strong for anybody else. You can't help anybody else grow. Because especially children, babies, they feed off your emotions. So if your emotion is negative, they're going to also have a negative day. If you think about a newborn baby, they feel tensions. So if there's tension in the air, if there's negativity in the air, that baby will cry all day, and then that makes you feel worse. And then you think you're not doing anything right for the baby, but you are doing everything right. It's just the baby senses that you're not feeling right, so it doesn't know how to feel itself, essentially. But yeah, so that's where we're at just now. We are house hunting and just doing everything that we can do at the minute. And I'm Christmas shopping for 2 children. I say children, they are adults. Although one's going to be 19 next month. What month are we in? We're still in November. So next month, in less than a month, he's going to be 19. The other one's 26. Does anybody want to tell me what they want for their Christmas? No, they don't, because obviously they earn their own money now. So they're like, I want to get this. Oh, I'll get it for you. No, it's alright, I'll get it myself. So yes, and I get where they're coming from. They're trying to be grown ups and everything else, but it was so much easier when you had an Argos catalogue. You don't. I'm presuming Argos was Argos worldwide. Anyway, a shopping catalogue where the children would pick out their toys and their whatever they wanted, and yeah, there may be 5,000 million trillion gazillion bazillion but whatever infinity worth of toys on there, but you could pick the ones that you were going to get and say Santa forgot the rest, or Santa had to divide all the toys out between other children. But adult children don't help Santa. Adult children decide that, well, Santa's job to decide, not my job. Don't like that idea. So I did say to my youngest, the one that's going to be 19, I said, listen, I'm not listening to this bah humbug stuff anymore. Like, what's with the bah humbug? And he just laughs because I know he's doing it on purpose. He thinks he's funny. And he said, I'm not bah humbug. I said, well, I think you need to go and visit Santa. And it was like rolling his eyes and saying, oh yeah, Mum, that sounds like a really good day out. And I said, I think what you need is to take your Christmas list to Santa, sit in his knee, get your picture took with him, and tell him what you want for your Christmas. And he's like, oh yeah, that sounds amazing. I was like, right, let's go. He's like, Mum, get out of my room, leave me alone. So I decided to start singing Christmas songs to him just to really rile him up. I finally got my Christmas tree. Not the one I was going to get, but that's because I've not moved house yet. You know, I've told you that 10 million times. It's the same style of tree, it's just slightly smaller and slightly different, but yeah, it's essentially the same tree. It's just not pre-lit and it's a foot smaller. And listen, size isn't everything, which could then go on to the topic we're going to talk about shortly. But everybody remember, regardless of whether you are male, female or indifferent, size is not everything. Best things can come in small packages. I.e. moi, I am a 5'3.5". And I know I just said size isn't everything, but we need to just add on the extra half inches now and again. And I think I'm pretty okay. Sometimes maybe kind of sort of a now and again. But yeah, what can I say? Listen, we've all got to build up our own egos, because if we're waiting for anybody else to do it, you might be waiting a while. And I know if I was waiting for anybody that I know to build my ego, I don't even think they would do it at my funeral. I think I'd be dead, buried and back to haunting them, and they still wouldn't be. They'd still be like, oh my God, she was an absolute rocket. She thought she was funny and she was just annoying. She had blonde hair for a reason, because she was thick as two short planks. Anyway, enough about my imperfections or perfections, or however you want to describe them. What we're talking about today. Right, hold on. That was my drum roll. Wasn't much of a drum roll, right? But it's more of a hear ye, hear ye. Do you know the men that ring the bell? Town crier, town caller, town crier, town crier. I'm doubting myself, but anyway. Hear ye, hear ye. Listen up, listen up. If you are male, if you are a man, if you are a boy, if you are of the male species, a male specimen, if you're not female, I'm trying to think how other ways to describe a male, man-child, boy. I've said boy. I don't know if you're not female, but I mean females listen, because I'm sure a lot of yous know men. Some of us wish we knew some men a bit better than we do. I'm sorry. I've just took away from what I've just said. Get my bell out again. Hear ye, hear ye. I apologise for my mouth. Anyway, right, so to be serious, men, this one's for you. But I'm not ruling out the females, because it actually is for everybody, but I want men especially to listen. I'd sing that song, Listen to You, but Beyonce sings it way better than me. And there's some songs that I can attempt, and there's some songs that I'm just like, no, Aileen, don't do it. Just don't. That bit of the song, she just goes too up there, out there, and round the corner and backwards again, and through tunnels where, she's good at that bit. But anyway, enough about her and her talents. Men, this needs to stop. This needs to change. And just please listen. I know I'm female and I'm talking to men, but please don't think I am a nagging female. I am a concerned female. The reason I'm putting this out to men especially is because we all know men hate talking, women love talking, men hate showing feelings. Most women, I'm not going to say all, most women will show their feelings, not a problem. Listen, I only say I wear my heart on my sleeve and my face. My face will tell you if it's a red heart or a black heart, put it that way. Not to mention my mouth will definitely tell you. But listen, that enough about me, right? Most women will open up with their feelings. Most men won't. It's almost like, if I could describe it as when I was going through the worst of the worst in my mental health journey, especially I would say in my 20s, maybe even my early 30s, I had this wall, and by day by day by day it got taller and taller and taller until I wasn't visible anymore. Nobody could see me. Nobody could go over that wall, and there was no gates to let you in. Nobody was getting in that wall. Now, I will say it took one person, and the only person who got over that wall. It took them a lot of years. I was in a relationship with them for many, many years. But what happened was, after a few years and a breakup in between and them coming back, that wall went back up again because they had broke the boundary. They had destroyed it. So the wall went back up. But what I learned through that experience and my whole mental health journey is, don't presume everybody is going to be the same. And what I mean by that is, because we all know not everybody's the same. You may try and open up to somebody, or you may lay your soul bare to somebody, and you feel as if they don't take you seriously, or they don't understand, or they're maybe just not listening. But just because that person wasn't the right person to listen doesn't mean that there isn't a right person out there. Now, you may be uncomfortable speaking to a professional, i.e. your GP, psychiatrist, psychologist, counsellors, etc. And I understand that, because there's a misconception also that, and I hear it so many times, and I don't just mean from my clients, I mean people in general. Give me a second, I'm tangled. People in general, I hear, and sometimes they're talking about other people's mental health journeys, sometimes they're talking about maybe an ex or whatever else. And listen, when it comes to mental health, I'm on your side 100%, because I know how it feels to be judged, or feel as if you're getting judged just purely because you're unwell. At the end of the day, you're unwell. Would anybody judge you if you had a heart condition, or if you had cancer, or lung disease, renal failure? Of course they wouldn't. Would they judge you if you broke your leg? If you were having migraines? No, indeed they would not. So why is it because it's mentally and internally breaking you, why do people think that they can judge? Now, one of the misconceptions, or a few of the misconceptions should I say, is, one, you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to get sectioned onto a psychiatric ward. This is untrue. 2, if you're currently fighting for custody for your children, or for visitation rights of your children, your mental health journey is going to affect that. Not necessarily true. And I say not necessarily true because it is all down to where you're at mentally. And by that I mean, are you a danger to yourself or others? If the answer is yes, then yeah, you may need some supervision with your children until you are stable again. And it could be you just need a change in your medication. It could be that you need some counselling or psychology help. You could need a mix of both. And listen, that's okay. And it's all a journey. And do you know what? See if that is the case. Don't say, well, my mental health has stopped me from seeing my children. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as you're proving to your children that you're willing to fight, not only for yourself and for your health and your mental health, your emotional health, your stability. You're also fighting for them. You're doing it for them. Then you've got family, friends, whatever, who maybe don't understand. I will say I have been the only person, or was the first person in my family to struggle with mental health, especially to the degree that I did. Nobody knew about it, but that doesn't make it all right the way some people would treat me at times. And let me tell you, some of them should have known better. Most of them should have known better. If you can already see that somebody's broken and that somebody is at the depths of despair, then you should not be piling on and making it worse for them. Also remember that mental health, whether it's severely poor or just beginning to deteriorate, is not your fault. Regardless of where your mental health is at, if it's obviously, if you've got good mental health, that's amazing, but I mean poor mental health. Regardless of where it's at, it is not your fault. Do not let anybody tell you that you've done this to yourself. If you unfortunately find yourself harming yourself, you may find that some people may think that you've done it for certain reasons or whatever else. These people don't understand, and this is why you need to find the right person to open up to. This is why you need to realistically seek a professional, but you may want to confide in somebody in your inner circle or your life, whether it be work or personal, because you're going to, although you've got your professional that's helping you, you may only see them once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, obviously depending on their appointment basis, but you're going to need support in between times, and it's not always easy to just pick up a phone and say, I'll just go and phone my psychiatrist, or I'll just go and phone my CPN or my counsellor or my therapist or whoever it is you speak to. But although I'm pointing out the negative along with the positive far outweighs the negative, because see all that positive that you're going to get from some, again, not everyone, that's it. That's what's going to grow you. That's what's going to make you stronger. So if I was to turn round to you men and say, give me a valid reason why you will not open up, what would your answer be? I'm not going to second guess anybody's answer here. I'm just asking you to ask yourself. And is your answer valid? Does it mean that there's no way out? Of course not. It's all about finding your person to speak to, finding your support system. Now, when it comes to men, because everybody, including men, know that men won't open up, there has been an influx as such of men's groups. And listen, it doesn't mean group therapy. It's men's groups for you all to be, potentially find friendships, potentially just to get out the house for a couple of hours or an hour or half an hour even. Whatever it is, you don't have to open up, but you might find eventually down the line you all start opening up to each other, because these groups are specifically for people who are struggling with their mental health. It's not for somebody who is living their best life. And by the way, just because you're struggling with your mental health doesn't mean to say in other aspects of your life you're not living your best life, because you 100% can be. But it also means that to a point you're lying to yourself and to others, because you're putting on a persona, which is fair enough to get you through the day, but you have to deal with that root cause. If you do not deal with that root cause, it's going to continue for longer than it has to. And it breaks my heart and everybody who has any kind of heart, empathy, whatever, to turn on the telly, watch the news, read the paper, open social media, and every single day we will see another poor soul has been pulled from water, found in the woods. You've also got the murder suicides. You've got so many different situations where people are taking their own life, and potentially at times some may take the life of others as well. And listen, I'm not going to judge anybody for that, because I completely understand where their mind was at that time. I am very fortunate, and I know how fortunate I am, that I have managed to turn my mental health round. Now, I'm not going to say my mental health's perfect. My mental health is far from perfect. I still see my doctor on a regular basis. I still take my antidepressants every single day. I have to be very careful at certain things that I do within my life, because some things can be triggering. Some things can spiral me back into my eating disorder. Sometimes can spiral me back into my mental health crisis. So I have to be very careful of what I do on a day-to-day, what I do on a regular basis. Who I have in my life is a very, very, very big trigger for me. And also making sure that I don't take myself away from society. And what I mean by that is isolating myself, keeping myself indoors. And you might say, but you've got a business, so you have to. I may have a business, but it doesn't mean that I can't isolate myself from my friends, my family, anybody. It's so easy to just, I can't be bothered going to the shops today to buy dinner, so I'll just order dinner in, or I'll do an online shop, and that one online shop could end up turning into a weekly thing to a monthly thing. The next thing you know, it's been 6 months since you've gone shopping. A year, 3 years, time goes by so quickly. So what I would say to men is, please, see, even if you can't find it within yourself or find the strength to actually approach somebody and say, can I speak to you? Just could you listen? Just listen. Please don't interrupt. Just listen to the words that I'm saying. If you can't find the strength, which is absolutely fine, there's other ways to do it. You could write a letter. And yeah, that sounds very old-fashioned, but it is a very good thing in therapy. It's a very common tactic we use in therapy, and so far the majority of my clients, if not all, have found it beneficial in one way or another. You could write a text to the person, an email. There's so many ways nowadays where you can communicate with people without actually standing in front of them and shaking, talking. Things that we couldn't have done 30 years ago, we can do now. If you feel more comfortable speaking to a stranger, go to your library, go to your local chemist, go to a GP you've never seen before, phone the Samaritans, and obviously that depends what country you're in, but phone one of the charity phone lines where the person doesn't even need to know your name. They don't need any of your personal details. You just phone them and tell them how you're feeling in that moment and how you've felt all day or all week or however long you've felt like that. Let them listen. Listen to their advice. Take their advice. And if you feel as if in that moment you don't trust their advice, that's okay, but give it another chance. phone up another day and speak again. You may speak to a different person and their advice might be similar or worded different, or it may be exactly the same. But just keep listening until it sinks in, because eventually it will sink in. And you know, when you get to the other end, because there is light at the end of the tunnel, I am living proof. As I said, I went through the most horrendous mental health journey, and I will fully open up about it one day, but that day's not yet. But I will tell you that I was almost sectioned multiple times. I was very, very anorexic, to the point where I was like 5 stone at one point. As an adult, I secluded myself from the world. I would lock myself in my house and cry. I wouldn't answer my phone. I wouldn't answer the door. Unless you let me know that you were coming to the door, I wouldn't answer the door to you. I was very suicidal. Listen, there was so much. And the only thing that I will praise myself for in that full time is that I never let it affect my son's life, in the sense that he still went to school every day. He was still clean. His laundry was done. He went to his bed at the times he should be going to his bed. He was up when he was meant to go. He was never late for school. He was always fed. He still got his 3 meals a day. He still got to play with his friends that were in the street, or ones that weren't in the street. The parents maybe knew that I was unwell but didn't actually know, so they maybe helped. But there is ways around it. And you don't have to tell everybody that you're unwell because of mental health. It's nobody's business. But if you're taking maybe some time off work to try and rebuild yourself, and somebody says, why are you off work? Just say, I've not been well for a while, or whatever you have to say, or I just need to take some time off to help the family, or whatever it is. Nobody needs to know your deepest, darkest secrets. But if those deepest, darkest secrets are affecting your mental health and affecting how you're thinking about yourself, or potentially thoughts of what you're going to do to yourself, please stop. Listen to this podcast, or listen to somebody. It doesn't need to be this podcast, it can be any podcast. Read a book, read up on it, read online, speak to your GP, speak to your therapist, go to the library, ask if there's somebody who you could speak to, because you've got nobody to speak to. There's so many ways that you can do this. That doesn't mean that you can't have a life anymore. And I promise you, if you keep at it, you will get there. And the only thing, I know it's a big thing, and I know how hard it is, because it took me 9 months to tell my mum that I was struggling with my mental health. My mum's a nurse, and to tell her that I was anorexic. And she said, I already knew. People know. People can see your changes, but they don't want to approach you because they don't want to offend you, or they don't want you to make you feel worse than what you already do. But please just take that first step, because that first step is the step that's going to change everything for you eventually. And it might take you 6 months. It might take you a year. It might take you 5 years. Listen, it took me over 20 years to get to where I am today. But that doesn't mean to say that none of the journey was worth it, because it was worth it eventually. It just took me longer than it might take some other people. It's just one conversation, and it doesn't even need to be a full conversation. You can say what you have to say and leave. It doesn't have to be a two-way street. All you have to say at the end is, I just needed to get it out, or I just need somebody to know. And then you can say bye. Walk away. Take a breath. And if you want to continue the conversation, continue it, whether it be that day or another day. If you want to text them and say, listen, that conversation was hard for me. Can you give me some time? And you can ask me any questions you might have, or whatever you need to say it. And you don't have to speak to another man if you don't want to speak to another man. You can speak to a female if you feel more comfortable speaking to a female. And listen, again, I just want to reiterate, as long as you're speaking to the right person, regardless of whether it's a male or a female you're speaking to, they won't judge. And if they do judge, then that says more about them than it does about you. That says more about the negativity within them. or their lack of knowledge, their lack of empathy. But please don't put any negativity off trying again. And most of the time you can sense if somebody's an empathetic person or a good listener. You'll know, especially if you've known them for a long time. You'll know who the right person is to speak to. But please, if there's just one thing that you do this week or this month before the month ends, because we've only got a few days left of this month and then everybody's going to be celebrating Christmas, and you want to go into the Christmas season feeling a bit more upbeat than what you're feeling now, or feeling a bit more positive. And the only way to do that is to start now. Start today. Start whenever you hear this. Start whenever you get that urge in you, or when you find that right person. Just say, can we have a wee chat? Or however you would say it. However you want to say it. Listen, I had to open up to my mum a few weeks ago about something that I've held back for nearly 30 years. And that was a hard one for me. That's the hardest conversation I've ever had to have with anybody so far in my life. And every day, don't get me wrong, I did say to her, as I said to you at the beginning, I said to her, let me speak and don't interrupt. And every time she went to interrupt, I said, I told you not to speak. So just tell them to shut up. Just say, Aileen says you have to listen to me. And see if they don't listen, give me their phone number and I'll phone them. Give me their address and I'll go to their door. Listen, I'm not threatening anybody, I promise. But do better. If you're listening, if you're the listener, just listen. Who remembers the trend on TikTok? We listen and we don't judge. Keep that in mind if you are the listener. If you are the talker, open upper. Can't even say that, it's not even a word, but I just made it up. Open up. If you're the person that's opening up, basically, don't let anybody stop you from trying to make your future more positive and better for you, your family if you've got one. And what I mean by that is partner, children, etc. I don't mean if you've got a mother or a father or anything. Or maybe it's you want to start a family. Don't let any of this stop you. And if you are fighting for your children and you think your mental health is going to affect that, please get in touch and we'll talk through it. Or get in touch with somebody. And that's another thing. See if any of you feel as if you don't have somebody to talk to, send me a message. If you can't afford to take me on as a counsellor, as in regular appointments or irregular appointments, I'll check in with you every now and again for 5-10 minutes just to make sure you're okay. But please open up to somebody, because I only have so many hours in the day and I need to sleep sometimes. But I will help anybody who doesn't have anybody. I would never, ever, ever dream of anybody being on their own, feeling lonely. I know how lonely that time is, and I know how hard it is. And even regardless of how many people you've got in your life, it is the loneliest, or one of the loneliest times that you'll go through, because you feel as if, and you're probably right in the sense that nobody understands, because I do genuinely believe unless you've been in the situation, you can't fully understand. You can try, but you'll never fully understand. And I'm glad you can't. If you've never been in that situation, I am so glad there is people that haven't been in that situation, because I would not wish it on my worst enemy. But I just want to finish off this part by reiterating, men and women, but obviously we did say at the beginning, I'm trying to aim this one at the men. Please, please, please seek help. Again, whether it's professional help or whether you're just asking somebody to be your sounding board, please do it today. And then have yourself a merry little Christmas. Sorry, I just felt the need to sing there. But I don't want to make any kind of jokes about mental health or anything like that today, because I get people can joke about it, and you can joke about it, and I do joke about my own mental health, but I would never ever dare to joke on anybody else's. It's the consequences of joking about somebody else's mental health can be horrific, and once the words are said, you can't take them back. And once somebody potentially does something due to those words being said or being a trigger, sometimes those consequences can't come back either. And then, yeah, it can have horrific consequences. And I want us to eventually be able to kind of eradicate the stigma of mental health firstly, especially when it comes to men. Because as I said, most women will open up. Most women, yes, some people it might take longer. Some women it might take longer to go and ask for help. Because as humans we just think we can soldier on. We can, until the point we can't anymore. We've got nothing left in the tank. So we want to eradicate the stigma of it, that it means that you can't be a good parent, or it means that you can't get a good job, or you can't go on holiday, or you can never smile, or you can never laugh, because then somebody might say, but you're not struggling with your mental health. You still can. You can still laugh. You can still joke. You can still go for nights out. You can still go and get married. You can still go on holiday, have a baby, do everything that everybody else is doing. But nobody can see what's going on the inside. Just because you're smiling on the outside, we know, doesn't mean you're smiling on the inside. But also, see all these cliches, or whatever you want to call them. Man up. Pull your socks up. Just get on with it. How hard can it be? You don't know what struggle is. All these things. Stop. Just stop. I want to eradicate these altogether, because I'd love to be able to. I'm only one person. It's going to take for everybody to stop saying them before they're actually eradicated. But stop saying them. They're not helpful. They don't help somebody get on with it, or make them stronger, or make them think. All you're doing is creating a bigger situation, a bigger struggle for somebody, because they think, well, they're saying I should be getting on with it, so it can't be as bad as what I'm thinking, but why am I feeling it? And then they start to feel a certain way. So just stop all this nonsense, because Aileen is sick and tired of all these people who think they've got the right to tell somebody how they should feel or what they should be doing. No, not on my watch. Angry Aileen. Angry. I think Aileen might have PMS this week. PMT. One of the two. So I'm sorry if you feel as if I was shouting at you. But I promise I wasn't shouting. I'm just trying to get my point across. The only way I can get my point across is being an angry Scottish female from Glasgow. So just stop with your crappy comebacks to people, please. Think that you're making them feel better. You're just making them feel worse. And you're really annoying me, just in case you haven't noticed. So men, listen to Aileen. Don't listen to them. Listen to me and all the other people that are giving you good advice and not shitty advice. It's not even advice. It's just shitty words that they're saying. I'm sorry, but it is. Listen to the people who are talking sense. And just in case you haven't noticed yet, Aileen's always right. See, if my ex is listening to this, he'll be laughing, because I used to always say it to him. I told you I'm always right. But no, you're not. Well, guess what? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Anything you can do, I can do better. Who remembers that? Anyway, that's got nothing to do with this part of the thing, me. I just thought I'd sing that to you, because you know how I like singing, even though my son keeps telling me I'm rubbish at it, but I don't think I am. I don't think I'm right with that one, but listen, I'm usually always right. I'm always right until it comes to opinions about myself, because sometimes they're a bit overinflated. So yes, all you men out there, start talking to each other. Listen, just give each other a big bear hug. High five each other. Whisper in each other's ear. I don't care how you start talking, just start talking. Just don't start talking about me, because I don't want any negativity, please come in my direction. Don't be getting your voodoo dolls out and go, that Aileen says that we want to start talking and start putting pins in my mouth, because I need to be able to keep talking. I talk for a living. So don't be getting the voodoo dolls out. I'm only trying to help you. Anyway, that was just a wee joke, so don't take it seriously. And also, please don't get the voodoo dolls out if you're aiming them at me. Oh, if I just gave you an idea, I'll be nice next time, I promise. But also, females, if yous are holding back talking and opening up about your mental health, can yous please start talking as well? Maybe you should start talking to each other. What I mean by that is males and females. Listen, I talk to anybody. I go up to my Asda and there's a young boy that works in it, and I wind him up all the time. Every time I'm in, he just laughs at me and he's like, oh no, you again. And he said to me, do you just know everybody in here? I said, well, I'll talk to shite if it talks back to me. I'll talk to anybody. I talk for a living. And he's like, you're not real. And then there's another guy that works in Asda. I think I've told you about him before. He's told everybody I'm on OnlyFans. I'm not on OnlyFans. I just want to put that out there as well. But he's told everybody I am. And then he turned into one of the girls that works in who works in Asda as well. She's one of the ones that I don't really talk to because I don't know that well, because you don't really see her much on the shop floor. And he seen me walk down and he went, oh, talking about Bonnie Blue, here she comes. I was like, excuse me. I don't get out that easy. Anyway, that was just a wee bit of hilarity for you to kind of lighten the mood. But he does say it. He tells everybody. In fact, he was stocking one of the shelves the other day and he was doing his knees and I walked up behind him. But that's not the first time you've been on your knees, eh? Payback. I mean, should I shout it loud so that everybody heard? But yeah, listen, it's good to be able to talk and have a laugh. But it's also important and good to talk and be serious and open up. So let's try and make it a healthy balance and do a bit of everything. A little bit of this, what was that song? A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of, I don't know her name. Mambo number 5. If you Google it, listen to it. Some of you might be too young. Talking about too young, who's watching Stranger Things, the new season? I have been made to watch it from season 1. I'm on season 4. Season 5 starts tomorrow, so I've got to the Friday, because we're not actually watching it to Friday because my oldest son's on back shifts this week, so I've got to Friday to finish season 4, but that's fine because I think I've only got 5. How many episodes are in this? I don't know. I think I've got either 3 or 5 episodes left of season 4, and then that'll be me done, and we'll watch season 5. But the reason I said who's too young is because I was a child of the 80s, so I remember all that. But do you know what? I was watching one of the episodes. Was it yesterday? No, I think it was this morning. And they were all at a phone box. A lot of the younger ones won't know what a phone box is, but us older ones do. A payphone. And it was the first time I'd noticed it. I never noticed it the last time we watched it. And somebody wrote in, obviously it was part of the set, right? But just that they're pretending that a teenager wrote it or whoever. And it says, E.D. phone home. And I was like, I've not noticed that before. I just thought to say that. I mean, that was just the most random part of Stranger Things for me to point out. But, yeah, so I was a child of the 80s. I was born in 79. I'll give away my age now. Jesus. Just trying to hold my age away for you all years, and I've just told you what year I was born. So this is my thing, because everything, I'm like, oh, the roller boots. I love the roller boots. And me and my mum's friend's daughter, we had pom-poms on ours. Just to kind of extra jazz it up, And then, who remembers when Tammy Girl opened up the Kylie section and I genuinely thought I was wearing Kylie Minogue's clothes? See, when I found out as I got older that wasn't true, I was fuming. Really, I was telling everybody that I was buying my clothes for Kylie Minogue. I mean, I was in primary school at the time. I was I don't know what age I was. 8, 10, don't know. When did the Kylie section come out? It was when the Kylie section first opened. So yes, I am ancient. So mark my words, I know what's best for you. I'm one of the old people who thinks they know better, but I do know better. No, I'm kidding on. Listen, I really don't. Everybody knows that I have to keep my hair blonde because I am very blonde. And I said it on a video on one of my TikToks the other day, and everybody was killing themselves laughing at me like, listen, I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know, and I only try to know what I want to know, and I only need to know what I know, and if I don't know, I don't know, and I don't pretend to know. Like, if I know, I know. If I don't know, I'm not going to say to you, listen, I know when I don't know, because you might know, and then you'll make me look daft. And I'll be like, right, okay, calm down, just because you know and I don't know. Did that make sense to any of yous? No, I didn't think so, but I hope it gave you a laugh. Anyway, I am going to leave this episode at that, because I need to edit and get it up. But please listen to what I've said. It's not a lecture, it's just some friendly advice from your friendly therapist, who does have appointments available if anybody would like to book in. That's not a sales pitch. Well, it is a sales pitch, but it's not really. But in all seriousness, I do have appointments available for counselling and coaching, and the coaching side of it is life coaching, wellness coaching, business coaching. If you are within Glasgow or the surrounding areas, we can also offer hoppy ear candling, Indian head massage, cupping massage therapy, hot stone massage therapy, and now also manual lymphatic drainage. I was supposed to be bringing some group sessions just now, starting round about now, but because of what I told you at the beginning of the episode, they have now been postponed until January. So as soon as I've got the dates for them, they'll all be in person, then I will let you all know. But I will also be offering online group sessions as well, which means that they will be available worldwide. If you'd like any information to do with anything to do that I've just spoke about, you can get all the details on therebootsanctuary.com, and you can also email in therebootsanctuary@gmail.com. If you'd like to come on to the podcast as a guest, or if you'd like me to tell a story or give you some advice, you can email into rebootyourthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. Also use that email if you would like to advertise or sponsor the podcast. Again, as I say every episode, there is packages available for your budget. So, after all that speech, I am going to go finish watching Stranger Things, and the next time I speak to you, I will have my tree up, hopefully. Maybe, probably, I hope, maybe, don't know. But listen, if anybody is struggling and does need advice or pointed in the right direction or anything like that, just send me a message and I will help where possible. But for now, I'm going to go. Please all take care of yourselves, but also take care of each other. Reach out if you need to. Ask for advice, ask for help, ask for support, ask for whatever you need. Just don't be rude. And show some empathy to your friends, family, and whoever needs it. Even the wee old lady in Asda who's huffing and puffing, get a wee smile. You might make her day. And I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.